Abby Theodros here at the WBTV News Now desk, coming to you live with a fun segment for you. The countdown is on to Christmas, and that means millions of kids across the world are going to power up their iPads and turn their smartphones on and start tracking the man of the season, the man of the hour, really the man of 24 hours, as NORAD gets ready to launch their Santa tracker. I want to show you this video here that NORAD shared on their Twitter page. The North American Aerospace Defense Command, more commonly, as I just mentioned, known as NORAD, will launch its popular Santa tracker Christmas Eve. That's happening at 6 a.m. Eastern time. And it's based in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Joining me now to answer my questions and your questions as well, we have Captain Alexandra Hayduke, who is out there in Colorado Springs getting ready for the big event. It's great to have you here. How are things shaking out there?
Oh, if it's hectic here, what it must be like in Santa's workshop right now, Abby. So it's a great atmosphere. We're all just so thrilled to be going into tomorrow and to help track Santa. We don't know exactly what time he's going to kind of pop out. It usually happens around 6 a.m. Eastern, and we're able to do that using the heat signature for Rudolph's nose, which happens to be the same infrared heat signature of a missile or a missile launch, and that's something that we track for 365 days of the year. So really excited, and just an electric atmosphere over here.
All right, I do want to ask you some more questions. So this is the 66th anniversary, and it actually started as an accident. So walk me through how this tradition got underway.
Okay, so sit back in your chairs and relax by the fire. It's the cutest thing ever. So back in 1955, we had the Continental Air Defense Command at the time. 3 years later, that became NORAD in 1958. But the local catalog here had printed an ad inviting children to talk to Santa Claus and call into him. But unfortunately, they had misprinted that telephone number by 1 digit, and it happened to reach the proverbial red phone, and it was a legitimate red phone in our command center for CONAD there. And that phone was usually used by the Pentagon or the White House, and so that phone rang, and the officer on duty, Colonel Harry Shout, when he picked up, he was expecting a dignitary, some important piece of information, and it was important, just not what he thought, and it was a small child asking whether he was Santa Claus. And so Colonel Shout, being a very smart man, he quickly realized what had happened, appraised the situation, and played along, and then realized that they were going to get inundated with calls from all sorts of children from around the local area. And so he asked his colleagues to, every time that phone rang, to pick up and play along with it, and that's how our tradition was born. It's been going on for 66 years, and it's such an important part of our heritage and history.
All right, well, we are asking you questions. I do want to ask our viewers who are checking in with us right now on Facebook Live to drop their questions in the comment section. We do have a digital producer monitoring the comment section, and he will let me know what you're wondering about NORAD and their adventure this Christmas Eve. And I will ask Captain Hayduke while we have her on here. In the meantime, while we are waiting for those comments, let me ask you about just the journey to track Santa, because I know you guys are using so many different radars and satellites. So how does that work with someone who is moving so quickly in such a short period of time?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, it's a great question. And like I mentioned earlier, we were able to track the Santa and his sleigh because of Rudolph, the team lead there on the reindeer side. He's got his nose has the same heat signature as a missile. So our North Warning System, which is strung across Alaska and northern Canada, is able to pick up that heat signature from Rudolph as soon as he kind of pokes his nose outside of the North Pole. And then Santa will reach the dateline, and then our satellites, which are in a geosynchronous orbit, which just means that they are above the Earth in a static place, overlooking an area, they're able to pick up that heat signature as well and follow Santa as he moves west across the continents, from the Pacific Islands to Asia, Australasia, Africa, Europe, Middle East, and then hits North America and South America. Now, once he hits North America, though, he's going incredibly quickly. Before that, he kind of slows down for us, actually. It's really kind. And just based on the tradition and the relationship that we have with Santa Claus, so that way our NORAD fighter jets are able to greet and meet him and escort him through North American airspace. And so first he's met by CF-18 pilots. They're Canadians from Bagotville and Cold Lake, respectively. and then he's met by F-15 and F-16 pilots from continental US. And as he makes his journey, he'll be met by F-22s over Alaska until he exits North American airspace. So bless his cotton socks. He is very much slows down for us. And aside from that, I have it on the best authorities from our intelligence folks that his speed is the speed of starlight.
That's incredible. Okay, you mentioned that North America is the last stop. Gotta ask, I'm talking to you right now from Charlotte, North Carolina. So for all our viewers at home, when do you estimate Santa will be in the Carolinas?
Well, he's got everything kind of squared away. I mean, the route changes every year as well. And, although our intelligence operators have tried to crack it year on, year out, it's a top secret route. So, as you can imagine too, the naughty and nice list change every year. Hopefully more of us get on the good list as opposed to the naughty list. But based on that, it does change. So our best guesstimate is usually that he will be in your area between 9 and midnight. So it's a very important time. That's kind of the magic hour, the magic 3 hours, if you will. And in terms for children, it's really important that they are in bed by 9 o'clock. That's our best insider tip. Again, our intelligence operators have passed that on to us to make sure we share that out there so that Santa can complete his mission. Gotta
make sure that the milk and cookies are out before you go to sleep, though. That's critical. Looking at some of the questions from our viewers, Lynn Cook asking, how can I show my grandsons the tracking? We got another one similar to that. Amber Carr wants to know if there is an app that she can download.
Absolutely. So there's a NORAD Track Santa app you can download from either the Google Play Store or from the Apple Store. We have the traditional method, which we've been using for so many decades now, which is a call-in center, 1-877-HI-NORAD, H-I-NORAD, N-O-R-A-D. You can follow him on the website, and the website's a great place to go if you have children. There's lots of games and different kind of activities to do together, and of course then we have the actual Santa tracker kicking off on tomorrow morning, so they can look at that. You can look on different social media feeds, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, so lots of different places, lots of different venues. Oh, and we had some great partnerships as well with Amazon Alexa and OnStar. You can ask, where is Santa? And you will be answered.
Tabitha Costantino wants to know, can you see when Santa gets to a specific street location, or are you guys more so going based off of regions and continents?
Well, it's more like what we can do kind of more neighborhoods, because again, I mean, our satellites and our radars are quite precise, but we actually don't know when he's going to be in a specific radar, like a specific neighborhood, because of the secrecy of the route, right? So as we're escorting him, our pilots kind of have, they always meet him and give him a little bit of a wingtip. He waves back, but they have to follow him a little bit because they don't know exactly where he's going. So although the satellites will know it once he's there, we're not able to predict it.
Tabitha, I know that you have to get going, so I'm going to leave you with one more question.
Absolutely.
I know that Santa is vaccinated. He may have a booster already, so he's good to go on that front. How have things changed for you all since the start of the pandemic, and will things look different this year for families who are looking to make those calls, maybe send an email out, trying to figure out where Santa is?
You know what? Because we have such a wide variety of methods to be able to invite people to track Santa Claus, there's really no impact from the pandemic. Last year, the pandemic impacted our call centers. So we went from 2019 when we had 1,500 volunteers, over 150,000 calls being answered by a live person as opposed to a recorded message. Last year, we dropped to 175 because of the pandemic and the health precautions that we were taking, and 20,000 calls. This year, we've been able to expand a little bit to 500 volunteers, give or take. We have a virtual call center as well. Health measures are in place, mask wearing, 6 feet of separation, of course. And we're expecting probably about 80,000 calls, but all the other traditional means are there. And just as a really neat fact, last year, and maybe I'll use this for pub trivia, last year we had a reach of over 4 billion. So it doesn't mean 4 billion people, but it would have that possibility of reaching different social media accounts between the media interviews as well. So we really appreciate the support of all of you viewers to follow Santa and be part of this history and heritage for NORAD. So thank you so much, and we wish all of you a very Merry Christmas as well.
Thank you so much, Captain Hayduk. We appreciate your time. I'll let you go. While we are on this Facebook Live, though, I'm going to minimize our conversation here on this Zoom, and switch over to the NORAD website because I know a lot of you guys were asking about that. So I want to show you what it looks like. I just Googled NORAD Santa Tracker, and then it gives you those details that we were just hearing from Captain Hayduke as far as when it's going to start. So that's going to kick off Friday, December 24th. You head over to noradsanta.org, and then you'll see all the different resources available to you. I will say that the tracking has not started yet, so you're not going to be able to see that. However, that will be available to you come December 24th around 6 a.m. Eastern time. Also, if you guys have Twitter, NORAD's on there as well, giving us updates. So that's something else that you will be able to navigate if you are interested in tracking Santa. But again, those details on noradsanta.org, letting you know that you can track Santa as soon as that tracker launches tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern time. And then take a close look here where my mouse is. You can see that there's a countdown there for you. It's going to start in just 16 hours and 43 minutes. So we're getting closer. The cool thing about the website, though, you can chat with the radar, letting you know, we can ask a question, when will Santa start his journey? And let's see how long it takes to respond. Wow, it's a very quick response. So letting us know historically Santa starts at the international date line in the Pacific Ocean and travels west. Captain Hayduke letting us know that generally that is 6 a.m. Eastern time for us in the Carolinas. And then you have other resources as well as far as the phone number that you can use. Definitely download that app on your phone if you're interested in doing that. But that is how you track Santa. And again, he is getting started Christmas Eve, so you can always check in if you're looking to do that with your friends and family. In the meantime, if you are watching on Facebook Live, this stream is about to end. But if you're watching on the News Now app, so Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV, we'll come back momentarily with your top stories and a check of weather.